here we go. Hello, everyone. You are viewing this program on Monday, December 22nd, 2025, and you are watching Ask a Care Navigator, Mondays with Maureen. Hello, everyone. My name is Maureen Williams, and I'm the Director of Care Navigation here at Four Seasons, the care you trust. And we try to create this space on most Mondays to talk about issues associated with living well and aging well, and perhaps how Four Seasons may be of service. I am joined by a very special friend, and you'll meet her in a moment. I want to share my gratitude toward the Van Winkle Law Firm for serving as the title sponsor for Ask a Care Navigator, Mondays with Maureen. The Van Winkle Law Firm is one of the most respected and well-established law firms in North Carolina, providing exceptional legal representation to individuals, families, and businesses in personal, commercial, business, and estate planning matters. And that's particularly where I interface with Van Winkle Law Firm. Should you want more information or to schedule a consultation, please go to the website, which is www.vwlawfirm.com. And if you want more information about Four Seasons, call us at 866-466-9734. And our website is fourseasonscare.org. All right, enough about that. I am joined by a very, very, very special friend, and I'm not kidding about that, Amy Fowler. Amy, tell us what you're doing in life right now. Where are you? What are you doing?
Oh, Maureen, thank you so much for having me today. I am a therapist focusing on grief counseling. I'm provisionally licensed with my LCSWA, and I work with guidance through grief counseling in the Inca Candler area.
That's fabulous. And I've known Amy for many years, so this is a fabulous transition for you. And you notice this is about grief counseling, and we're in the middle of the holidays.
It is, yeah. So, I mean, I had to take a deep breath with that, right? The
Mhm.
holidays can be a really loaded time for all of us, but certainly more complicated if we are struggling with grief.
Mhm.
And I was really lucky a couple of weeks ago after Thanksgiving, the Citizen Times ran an ad or a column that I had written about how to support folks who are going through grief during the holidays. So I thought we could touch on a few ways to support those that we love when we're not really sure how to interact with them with this difficult time.
It's grief is something we need to put in a closet or in a
Mhm.
drawer and move on. And in our work in hospice, Amy used to work in hospice as well. We know we're really open to talking about it, but others aren't. So perhaps many of you who are watching are seeing someone struggle with grief. What ideas, what thoughts, what hope do you have to share with them, Amy?
Yeah, so I think it's really important to understand that our culture is really grief phobic. Like you said, those of us who have worked in healthcare, specifically hospice or care navigation, we're more comfortable with talking about those things.
Yes.
But most people are pretty uncomfortable with talking about death and especially grief. And so I think that in our own uncomfortableness, we sort of push folks away unintentionally because
Right.
we're uncomfortable with it. And really, that can isolate the person who is struggling with grief even further. So, one of the sort of, and I want to be mindful that these aren't tips, right? They're just things to think about when you're interacting with someone that you care about and you
Right.
love. So many times, folks feel uncomfortable bringing up the person's name
Mm.
and asking about that person because they're afraid that that friend that they love is going to be upset because you've brought it up. Well, I have news for all of y'all. That person is already thinking about the person that they've lost 24/7, and you
Right.
bringing up that name is not going to make them sad. If anything, it's going to acknowledge that you see them, you are remembering that person that they loved, and it gives them an opportunity to really talk about that
What
person.
would be a good intro for that? Like if I wanted to say, "How are you doing, Amy?" or coach me on what I would say about, since your mother died.
Right, right. So, I mean, I think you could go by saying, Maureen, I've been thinking about you a lot. And maybe it's a person that you also knew, which makes it
Right.
easier, and say, Maureen, I really loved when your mom used to make orange nut bread and deliver it to
Mm.
our family. That was something that was really special. Right?
Mm.
That's two sentences, y'all. It's not hard,
No.
but it's acknowledging the person that they love, how you interacted with them, and how
Right.
that connection was formed,
Right.
and even saying, I know that this is a hard time of year for you, right?
Right.
Or what has it been like for you, right? You don't have to become a therapist, so you might not want to get into therapy and questioning, but it's an opportunity to just to remember that person, acknowledge that person.
Right.
And it may just be, I'm thinking about you right
Yeah.
now because you've lost your mom.
Right. And it really validates your friend,
Mhm.
right? That it's okay for me to be thinking about my mom or my dad or
Right,
whomever
right,
who's not here this holiday.
right. I think we assume that we have to have some amazing line to say to someone who's lost
Mm-hmm.
somebody. And unfortunately, we often fall on the cliches, which can really be damaging that,
Right.
God needed another angel or they're not suffering anymore, or things that can be really hurtful to that
Mm.
loved one. Grief doesn't have a magic bullet that's going to take it away,
I
right?
remember that.
And so expecting that there's going to be one phrase that you can say that is going to just poof, get rid of Maureen's grief is
It won't
ridiculous.
work.
It's not going to work.
Okay.
And so being mindful of just saying, this is a really hard time right now.
Mhm.
I'm thinking of you,
Right.
right?
And it's okay to use the loved one's name. I think that's
Yes.
really powerful.
Yes.
Encourage.
That I mean, something that was so powerful and both my folks passed away was getting letters from people with memories, some things I had never even heard of about my
Wow.
parents. It was such a great way because they were honoring my folks and it connected me to them. Helped me see them in a different way. I mean, it's great. Some of them were funny stories, some of them were poignant stories. And sometimes it was just, I really miss that your mom always spoke to me at church on Sunday, right? I mean, that wasn't huge, but that was just a warm thing that I could carry with me as I was struggling with her grief.
So I think for maybe our audience who's listening, you've just in a very kind way, just given everybody permission to step into that person's grief space
Yes.
very kindly
Yes.
and use the name of the loved one
Yeah.
and pull something personal and don't use cliches.
Right. I mean, it's
We
so
hear
hard.
that a
Again,
lot.
we get so fixated on having that perfect phrase that we sort of like freeze when we see someone, we're like, oh gosh, what do we say? And so then we just say something that's going to make us feel better, and that can be so damaging. I've even gotten feedback from this article from friends saying that one tip was so helpful because of such sort of misguided things that they heard when a loved one died and how hurtful that was to them.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
but I love your description of the grief space because another sort of tip, if you will, is that sometimes, and we're really bad about this too, we just need to be with that person and sit with them in silence. And that's real hard because again, we get our own sort of uncomfortableness about, oh gosh, I probably need to be say something, I don't know what to do, right? But sometimes just even going and sitting with someone, or I have a dear friend who lost her husband, and she, again, when this article came out, she said one of the most wonderful gift someone gave her is right after he passed, she came over and cleaned her kitchen, didn't say many words at all, mopped her kitchen, told her that she loved her and walked out the door. And so it wasn't this like, how are you doing process with me? It was it was a gift of presence. It was a gift of service. Um, and it was a gift of silence but being in that space with her.
Right. So if I can tag on to that, Amy, last week's episode, which is about hospice in the holidays, one of the tips or perspectives is give the person who's who's still alive, but with you under hospice care. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just be. The presence you mentioned, just that's what presence is. And it might be silent, which is okay, or just a little bit of, not a lot of doing, but a little bit of doing, but just that presence. So for the person under hospice care. And so what you're saying is for those of you who might be anticipating a loss, allow people to come over.
Right.
If your friends see that you're struggling and just want to come over and mop your kitchen, just let them do it.
Right. Right. I mean, you're allowed to say no. We're always allowed to have agency, right?
But you might be the friend listening right now who might want to offer
absolutely
to mop a kitchen, for example.
And that's a perfect segue because it's also really hard when you're grieving, and y'all know this if you've gone through this, to someone say to you, let me know if I can help you. Well, y'all, grief changes your brain. It makes
Mm.
making decisions more difficult. It messes up your sleep. It messes up your appetite. You can have physical pain, all of these things. You having the get up and go to call someone to come do stuff is pretty much gone, right?
Mm.
What can be really helpful as a friend is saying, I'm going to the grocery store today. Can I pick up something for you?
Perfect.
I would like to bring you dinner. Would you rather Tuesday or Thursday?
Right.
Right? Allow tangible offers that the person can easily say yes or no.
Mhm.
Not having the grieving person to figure out what in the world they need to ask for. You are providing that to them. Don't be disappointed if they say no, right? Because it's an offer. But if you're a doer and like to have activities, and if that's sort of your love language, that gift of service, provide very tangible examples that they can jump on.
I love that you're actually giving opportunity for two win-win.
Mm-hmm.
Or they
Yes.
can say no, but the win-win
Right.
is always good.
Right. Yeah.
I love that. Very specifics.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
What other by the way, I want you to tell us what where this article is if
Okay,
people
so
want to go
it,
online.
it ran in the Citizen Times. If you go onto our website, guidancethroughgriefcounseling.com, there's a link to it as well.
Oh, yes,
So
yes.
and it was, I mean, it was very timely. It came out at Thanksgiving as we get into this deluge of holiday time. So hopefully it will be a helpful article for all sorts of folks. Um, I think in addition to, I mean, we've really talked a lot about presence, and I think that that is sort of the theme of this talk today.
Yeah.
Because knowing that there's not a magic bullet and knowing that it's really important to acknowledge our loved one, it's also okay just to do some touch points and reach out periodically. Send a text.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm thinking of you today, with
That's
absolutely no expectation of any response, right? If you wake up thinking of someone, hey, I'm thinking of you.
Send them a message.
Send them a message.
Okay.
And really, if we think about sort of the pandemic or the epidemic of loneliness in the world, this could apply to all of our interactions. If you think of anybody, whether they're grieving or not, send them a text, right? That's connection is so needed in this world. But just and again, it doesn't, there are no perfect words, so you're not going to mess it up. You're just going to say, I'm thinking of you, or you were on my mind today, or, you know, I'd love to see you, or whatever. That kind of
Yeah.
thing. So,
And don't ask them to make too many decisions.
no,
Just
no,
be.
just be, right? Because our brain changes with grief. It is fine to ask them if they want to come over and do things, but it also, you need to understand that if they cancel last minute, it's not about you, it's about
Yeah.
them, and they're allowed that. So if you can give them some grace in that,
Yeah.
that's super important too. I mean, I was talking to someone a couple of days ago and they said it took 3 times for them to get to go see their friends. And their friends were not judgmental about that. They were kind. They were they were there and ready when the client was ready.
That's really precious. Amy, I don't know about you, but frequently after the holidays, when we hit January, that's when expressions of grief really become, I mean, it may be difficult right now going through the major holidays, but it's when all that is done that loneliness and that angst really ramp up. We see that in our care navigation business and hospice business after families have seen people. So, what lifelines are out there for people?
Right. I mean, so we live in an amazing community. If you live in the Asheville area, we've got great resources between Care Navigation. We have a robust amount of therapists in this area. Certainly, we would be honored if you're interested in guidance through grief counseling to join with us. We are doing a women's grief group this January and February, which is a processing group. It is not therapy, but it's an opportunity to get together with other women who are also grieving and process and learn about grief and practice, have some rituals and all of that. So that information again is on our website.
Is it on a certain day of week and time?
It's on Fridays from 10 to 11:30.
Is it virtual or in person?
It's in person.
Fabulous.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Amy, I want you to share your website again.
Sure.
We're going to drop this in the comment
Right.
box.
So it's guidancethroughgriefcounseling.com.
And your phone number
is one I don't ever remember because I don't call it. It's 357-7388. And that gets us to our inquiry line.
Yeah, 828-357-7388. It's in my phone. I don't
Yes.
remember it either. Wonderful. Amy, is there anything else you'd like to leave our audience with right
I think we all need to be kind to ourselves
Yeah.
during this, frankly, any season, certainly holiday season, right? I mean, I'm a toucher of my heart when I feel like things are heavy, and I think that this is a time where kindness and love to those that we care about is really, really important. Don't be afraid of grief, right? We're all going to experience it. Um, we can lean into it. We don't have to lean all the way over into it, but we can lean into it and love those people that we care about by speaking their loved one's name, sending a text, giving a tangible um, to do that you can do for them, just loving on them.
I think that's really powerful. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Amy. Oh, what a privilege. So Amy's practices, and she's in practice with someone else, this is called Guidance Through Grief. No, yeah,
Yes.
Guidance Through Grief Counseling.com. And we'll drop that information, but I've been on the website, really some good tools. It looks
There
pretty
are
too.
some good articles, and
Yeah.
Liz, who I work with, Liz Anderson, has had multiple papers published, and so I mean she's in the research with grief. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff.
There is, and you're not alone,
You're not.
people. You need to know that you're not alone. So if this is for you, great, or if this is for you to help someone you know, which was our focus here, please reach out to your friend. Just try one of the things that Amy shared, just one. Pick one for yourself and see what happens. And I'm sure it will have a positive impact. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, we're going to skip December the 29th because it's holiday season, and we will resume with Ask a Care Navigator Mondays with Maureen on Monday, January 5th. I have a very special topic and guest. But for right now, we've shared you the information about Guidance Through Grief Counseling.com, and then for Four Seasons. If you want to call us about anything, it's 866-466-9734, or please go to our website. It's chock full of information, and you can send inquiries to us through that mechanism as well, which is fourseasonscare.org. Spell out the number 4, FOURSEASONSCARE.org. And thank you, and happy holidays to all.
Take good care.
Uh-huh.